But in any case, all of you are pounded with many speeches over the evening, so I don't want to be another big one here. There is nothing to be in terms of money making in my speech, nor taxation or legal advice in my speech, or even politics like what happened, despite the fact that I have a track of being a politician myself. I didn't bring the track here. But I'm going to speak on something which can make you extremely powerful, give you intangible outcomes, which are in spirit actually tangible: happiness, power, great relationships, respect, integrity, and ensure that you have powerful communication to get things done. And that's what leaders do, is to get things done. Now, my area of work is emotional intelligence, and I'm an organizational strategist. I help businesses go to the next level. I draw business strategies, design them, handhold for implementation. But that's my business side. But the academic pursuit I have is in the emotional intelligence area, which I've been pursuing for the last 25 years, not academically, but application research. I apply in everything I do. So I thought I'll share a few thoughts with you on that area, because you have completed your business. Now let's talk a little bit of how to be more human. I want to ask you, let's have a dialogue instead. I'm very bad at monologues. I'm very happy that we're doing a physical meeting after very long, many years, 2 years almost. What is an emotion? You don't need to answer, you can probably reflect and see what definition comes your way. What is an emotion? A lot of people might get an idea of what an emotion promptly as a reaction. Or that would be your answer. Or it could be a feeling. A feeling is, yes, it's the right answer, but it is just a synonym of emotion. That's not the definition. Reaction is partly right, but it's not just reaction, it is actually an outcome of a stimulus, a trigger. So the question is, what is driving your emotions? What is the outcome of those emotions which are driven? What are you doing with those emotions at your work, at your family, in the society, maybe even a nation at large? Now you might ask me, why is it my business, Why do I need to even get into this complex looking issue of emotional intelligence? Because we are human. And if you were to pack anyone here in a box, it will say fragile, handled with care. But somehow we have overcome that. We have become more thought-driven instead of emotion-driven. So we have become quite mechanical today, and emotion is not a very exciting subject. But let me give you a few riders here before I go in a little bit. I'm making a big statement. Everything you do in your life, every single thing. Lady there is eating food. The man here is drinking some water or a whiskey. Somebody is scratching their head. To buying an 8-bedroom home or a Bentley, everything in between is to satisfy the emotion. Period. Your life is just a bunch of emotions which you're satisfying on a daily basis. And then we think emotion is not that important. You know why I'm saying it? I'm sorry if I'm generalizing it, but that's what our young people have learned too. We find very less emotional expression back at home. We see less of eye-to-eye contact, less of emotional conversations with our children, and less expression, and less vocabulary of emotions. Now all this is leading to conflicts. Now I'll make the second big statement. In a workshop, maybe for a 4-hour or 5-hour workshop, you would have contested, I would have given an answer when I said the big statement that everything you do, every single action you perform in your life is to satisfy a feeling or an emotion. both are the same words. You can use it interchangeably. But now we don't have much time to engage in that kind of a debate or a discussion. So the second big statement is all your decisions. There's no exception. Every single decision you have made in your life has a huge emotion component to it. And if it did not have thought aligned with it, most of the emotions or decisions which you have made purely on emotion would have led to a lot of negative outcomes. So my dear friends, I want you to reflect. The last time you regretted saying something, doing something, making a decision, a heartbreak, a divorce, a loss of finance, a strain in a relationship, losing a great friend, etc., etc., are all because of a higher denomination or a higher proportion of emotion and less of a thought. If you were to match them, bring them to a level which can complement instead of superlating an emotion or superlating a thought, you would make right decisions. I cannot, as I said, divulge more into this, but I can wrap and say that all your decisions have a huge impact of emotion in it. Now, will that at least make you think that it is very important for you to understand and at least know the definition? I just see the entire room and I see the age group is, what about 18 to 20 average? Don't get so happy. Yeah, but if you have like an average of say 30, 35, and if you cannot define an emotion, think what's happening in our lives. Think how much time are we giving? What is so central to our life? Third big statement, all conflicts in your life, yesterday, today, tomorrow, or because of a set of emotions which are not fulfilled. All conflicts. It could be financial, it could be relationship, it could be enterprise, it could be career, it could be social, it could be neighborhood, it could be anything. Health. All the conflicts you have personally are all driven out of unmet emotional needs. And if you can find a bunch of needs which need to be satisfied, fulfilled, with the party you have conflict with, you could actually resolve that conflict. That easy. And that is where the emotional intelligence comes in. And it is not just about an individual. It's about governments. It's about nations. It's about Pakistan and India. It's about Syria and the rest. It's about Ukraine and Russia. It's about Palestine and Israel. I can go on. All these conflicts, as massive as they are, also have an underlying emotional component, which most of the time the politics doesn't allow to put on the table and resolve. The same thing happens to personal conflicts. When we cannot put it on the table and resolve, we are not emotionally intelligent. Fear and respect are very powerful emotions. What do you use as an instrument to get things done defines a leader. And there are leaders who get things done very easily just by saying a few words to inspire the whole nation because they use the instrument of respect. They would have worked all their life to earn that respect, great emotion. But some people feel it not worth spending that kind of time, so they use a very simple emotion to acquire fear. But it's not easy to get things done with fear, but still you can get some done. But what kind of a legacy of a leader you would be? Ask yourself. The biggest challenge I see, I don't want to really go structured forward because it will take another few hours to finish the subject. It's a huge area of work, body of work. But I'll give you a few lines in terms of, they are not tactics. Unfortunately we have come to an age where a human being has to live as a human tactfully because we have thoughts dominating us. However, we are an animal out of the forest, came in and created a social network. in which we are supposed to be having more emotions working for us than the thoughts working for us. And I do agree with Elon Musk on few issues, especially this one, that if you do not increment the emotional side of the humans, which is decreasing exponentially generation after generation, then the AI and humanoids, the humanoid robots, can make you unnecessary, irrelevant. If I don't have a wife who is emotionally connected to me, but only transactionally connected to me, why would I need a wife? I mean, that applies to husbands too, don't get me wrong. If I don't have a set of emotions which I wish to satisfy, not being supported by anybody to enable me to satisfy, why do I need human beings around me anymore? So there are one or two things which you can look at. And I'll wrap it. I understand it's a very long and heavy day you have. What is expression and what is impression? Think about it. In emotional intelligence balance, now you might ask me to give a brief of what is actually emotional intelligence. Emotion, intelligence, as simple as that. Intelligence can be measured by IQ. Intelligence is all about reason and logic. Emotion is no logic, no reason, pure human instinct. So you see what happens? Don't question emotion for a reason it won't have. Mother's love has no reason. Unconditional. Real respect, not fake respect, has no reason, no logic. It's purely instinctual. I can go on, but let's move on. So if you can fuse the emotion, which is very natural to you, spontaneous to you, with thought, which is independent, actually emotion is so independent that thoughts are so dependent on a million factors. What are thoughts dependent on? Your parents, your background, your education, your race, your region, your religion, your sex. I can go on. But you just need to be human to emote. You can be so many things if you are aligning a thought to an emotion. So when you balance emotion with your thought, that is when you become powerful. That is when you make less mistakes. That is when you make yourself enduring. Make yourself a leader. Like what Andy said just now. All representatives are not leaders. A representative, elected even, can be just a representative, not a leader. And a leader is someone who breaks the status quo, leads his constituency of people to a different direction than before. A leader is someone who can influence an emotion and who can lead from the front. He doesn't follow what the constituency actually wants him to be, just a representative. So all representatives, my friends, whether it is back in India, MLAs or MPs, or even chief ministers, are not leaders. They are not breaking the status quo. They are not changing the direction of that country or state. Only those who are willing to break the status quo, only those who understand set of emotions need to be satisfied in that country and they work towards satisfying it, those are leaders. Now what kind of leader are you in your organization is a big question. And when I say organization, a lot of people think it's only business. A family is an organization, my friends. So there are spousal leaders, there are parent leaders, there are young people who are leaders, supposed to be. And then there are your neighborhood leader or a business leader, regional leader or national or a global leader. All these are organizations. And if you are emotionally intelligent, you would have young people in your home considering you as a leader. And the biggest emotion is respect. And that is why you don't need to really worry whether they listen to me. A lot of homes have parents who are worried that the kids don't listen to them anymore. They don't listen to them because you're not working on the emotional side, you're not sitting and talking. You're not engaging and you have no structure of emotional conversations. Thereby, when they don't give an eye-to-eye contact, when they don't consider anybody walking in and acknowledge, when they go back into their rooms with a plate of food, they're always on the gadgets and they abuse their bodies and minds. They make choices which are bad for them, what are they doing? Who's failing? I can't blame the young people. If there are no leaders in the family, if there is no leader, at least one leader in the family, then you have a problem. If there is no one leader in an organization, if he's just a boss, not a leader, if he's just a CEO and not a leader, if he's just a programmer and not a leader, you have plenty of trouble. Even financially. And that is why we see attrition today. We see people jumping jobs for 5%, 2%. They don't see leaders in that organization. They just see the money. The money is the leader. And now we are bleeding. We might even lose the edge we have back in India. There's Romania coming up, Philippines coming up, Ukraine coming up. So if we don't understand in this generation that, there are few individuals here, I see people from another generation, let's say, bridging us and go, back to the past. Just imagine your emotional relationship with your father and then place it with your relationship with your young people at your home. You see vast difference. That should worry you. That should worry you because the kind of speed with which we are losing emotional relationships, that's worrisome. And then you might ask me, Sagar, where is this all leading to? I would have given you a few applications, but we're short of time. Where does it lead to? Is broken families, broken organizations, less inspiring work, less inspiring relationships, unhealthy decision making, damaging decisions. And we try to put everything on the carpet and say, I get respect because I have money. I can be a jerk in a month. But still, that's what comes with the end of the day, money. It doesn't. If it is so that everybody would be respected with money, there are a million people with money, not everyone gets respect. So my dear friends, eventually what I wish to tell you is, if you wish to inspire yourself and be more human than a machine making money, it works for your good. Not only health, emotional health, mental health, physical health, financial health, relationship health. Look at the benefits of being human. Listening, empathizing, understanding why you're feeling the way I'm feeling. If I were to understand that and reciprocate, I'll make one last statement. You can carry it to your families and to your workplace. You don't give, you don't get. It's a part of emotional intelligence. And you can fill that blank with any emotional word you want. I don't give dash, I don't get dash. I don't give love, I don't get love, period. I don't give respect, I don't get respect. I don't listen to others, I don't have anybody to listen to one day. I don't validate you, you don't validate me, my friend. But if at all somebody else is doing it, trust me, that's a fake one. There are a lot of fake emotions out there. Somebody wants to retain their job, so they'll give you even if you don't give them. Somebody doesn't want a breakup of their relationship, they'll still show you that they're loving you, but they don't. If you want real relationships, you want real leaders in your employee base, you want real organizational leadership, you want things real, not fake, adopt emotional intelligence. Empathy is heart of emotional intelligence. If these sets of emotions are satisfying me for a certain reason, please understand the same set of emotions are somebody else demanding to satisfy their emotions. And if I cannot fulfill their emotions, I'm not an emotionally intelligent individual. I'm not enabled. Thank you very much for having me and have a wonderful evening. Love you.
Good evening all. Thank you, Krishna Saagar, for a wonderful speech. I request, this is very important, guys. In the business we do, we want to make money. It's a capitalist country, and it is very important that our capitalism also realizes the emotional intelligence is very integral part of our business model. I request everyone to who missed this? I think we should read the books. The lot of books on the emotional intelligence. Krishna Saagar has given a wonderful speech. Krishna, I'm sorry about that. Thank you very much. There is no one can teach this kind of emotional intelligence. We read all this, but it's very important for our business, even another business, the personal relationship, business relationship. Emotional intelligence is very important. I want to thank you, Krishna Saagar, for coming all the way. And
he has released his thought book. Let him announce the thought book. It is available on Amazon. It's going to be very popular. I'm going to buy it.
Okay. Thank you. I think Krishna Srimad Kaddu, our dear friend and speaker chair, is talking about Krishna Saagar is releasing that very important book on emotional intelligence. We should all read. It's very important, guys. I will stop here. It's already 9:30. I want to our PR chair, not this PR chair, Vamsi Tamanna to come and facilitate Krishna Saagar. Thank you, Vamsi. Vamsi has done a wonderful job as a PR chair. It's not easy, guys. It's working hard. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you. One more picture.